Insomniac Snack. Insomniac Snack. Insomniac.
You are now listening to the Insomniac Snack with your hosts, ScairKroh and Adam.
All right, welcome to the show. How you doing, Adam?
Doing great, man. Sober, sun's out, birds are chirping.
How long you been sober for? When's the last time you had a drink?
I haven't had a drink since I left Gloversville.
Fucking A, dude. You look good.
Yeah, I feel good. Feel alive, man. Life is good.
I fucking ate some shit that I had sitting around in my cabinet, right? You know this, but anyhow.
Yeah, you did.
We were gonna do some YouTube shit last night.
Remember the phone call we had last night?
I was just giggling like a little bitch, dude. I was just laughing. I should have never even called you. I felt so embarrassed. I felt like you were angry at me.
I wasn't angry. It was funny. I watched the live stream where you say nothing. You just have your hand out in front of you going like this. Like,
dude.
you fucking.
These things have been sitting around for over a year, and I figured, it wouldn't be that good. They hit me so quick, and like my whole world was rocked. It ruined my whole night. Like I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do. I didn't like, that's why I don't drink, because like you can smoke a little bit, no big deal. You can usually manage, like
Right.
most like
Right.
average normal smokers. But I don't care how much you drink and how often you drink. Like when you're drunk, you're fucked, dude. Like,
Yeah, you can tell. Like
Yeah.
you're there's no like taking a cold shower and
Right,
sobering up.
right.
Yeah.
And like I ate those things last night and I regretted it 45 minutes in because I was like, this is not what I want to do. I don't want this to control me. Like, and I've done a lot of shit and I can do almost anything and still function and still do what I want to do and still be in control. But like, not those, not alcohol. And it sucks.
You were tripping the balls last night,
I was
dude.
fucked, dude. And I tried playing that game and like the noise, I tried playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And
Oh, I
the
could tell on
noise,
the live
like,
stream. Yeah.
the
could tell.
ambience of it, dude, was just fucking with me. And especially with the headphones on, like it was on either side, and I was just tweaking out. And like I couldn't even
tell.
figure out how to play. Like I couldn't use my head to be like what's the word? Like I couldn't think about what I needed to do.
Didn't comprehend anything.
Yeah, I couldn't like comprehend anything. I just couldn't come
could
up
tell.
with a plan. Yeah, and I was like, I did it for an hour and I was like, I'm done. And I went and laid in the dark and I fought with the cat for a little bit. The cat knew I was fucked up, bro. Like you could tell the way the cat looked at me. She was like following me
knows?
around. Yeah, like she knew, dude. And she was following me around like, who is this fucking guy? What are you doing? And then we started fighting and like I do like the crane move. Like what do they call that? Like, is it just the crane?
Crane
Yeah,
kick.
just the
Yeah,
crane.
crane
Yeah.
kick.
And I'll do like the crane kick and like lift my leg up and like she starts hopping around and like swatting at me and I'm like cuffing her around, not hard, just like,
But yeah,
like,
yeah, of course.
like I wasn't hurting her, dude. Of course, like I mean that's fucked up, but just playing with her, dude. And like I did that and then I laid in the dark for a while giggling and then you texted me. I was like, oh fuck, dude. Like I was supposed to get on and we were gonna live stream tonight. Like I knew I was supposed to, but at some point I like disassociated, I think that's the word, from the whole thing and just said, all right, my night's over. And I just forgot about all my responsibilities. And then you hit me up. I was like, fuck, I cannot. Like,
No, I talk after 2 seconds of talking to you. I'm like, you were like, do you want to try to do something? I'm like, no.
no, it was horrible. And that's why I don't drink. And I think that might be the last time that I dip into the fun guys. So I think I'm done with that shit. I'm too old, bro. Before I do it and like it'd be like a spiritual thing and I'd feel good the next day and for like a couple months after like enlightened and
Yeah, I haven't done hallucinogenics in fucking forever, man. A decade easily.
I had enough of it and around 1:30 I drank a bunch of NyQuil, which intensified it. And I sat there thinking about, I was like,
I was wondering that when you texted me that you were going to drink NyQuil. I'm like, this.
Yeah.
Buy the ticket, take the ride.
Yeah. So it made everything worse. But I did end up falling asleep right after. So that's good. I slept till like 10 this morning. My stomach was killing me and I'm fucking done. Now I feel hungover. Like it was everything that drinking is, and I hate it, dude.
What do they
So
call it? What do they call like acid melon? Don't they call that when you have that acid hangover?
dude,
Melon head or something
is
like
that
that?
what they
Isn't that
call
what
it? Is that a
I think
West
so.
Coast thing?
I don't know. It's what we always called it.
I've never
Like
heard
melon
that.
head ice or something like that. I don't know. I haven't done hallucinogenics in fucking man since probably my 20s.
I'm not gonna do them again. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably
4 weeks
do
from now, you're gonna be like, dude, I'm a little fucked up right now, man. Dude,
them.
bro.
Bro, just giggling, bro. Giggling like a little bitch. Can't fucking comprehend anything. Can't fucking put any words together in a coherent fucking sentence. Like,
Well, you were putting them together, but you were just laughing every 2 seconds.
uh,
You were like,
and
you
you're
want to
the
record?
and like you're the only one laughing. Like, well, me, but like the person
Yeah.
doing it is like the only one laughing. So it's like, what a fucking ass clown, bro.
I
Like,
remember one time I had some shroom tea. I was leaving the house. Well, I was at somebody else's house. I had to go home, and I got in my car and drove like right after I drank this fucking cup. Yeah, that was fucking a horrible mistake. Tripping fucking balls driving like an hour away.
I've done that, and
Oof.
I don't think I can get in trouble for it, but I did it like a little over a year ago, and
You remember when we got the spike and we were
yeah,
driving and
yeah,
we didn't realize how intense that shit was, and we were like both fucked up, and we both took multiple hits of the shit.
yep. I've driven a
Oof.
couple times like hallucinating, and it probably wasn't the best idea, and I'm not proud of it, but I've done it.
Yeah, we all do shit in the past, dude.
Yeah, fuck it. So anyhow, let's get into some shit. Let me stop incriminating myself. I wanted to talk about one thing here before we got into the episode that is kind of the big thing happening on the internet right now, because we seem to kind of do that like the major news topic each week. Have you seen the whole fucking Hawaiian fires?
Hawaiian fires, yeah,
Yeah,
terrible. Yeah,
Maui.
I saw there was a bunch of people jumping in the fucking ocean to just escape the fucking blaze, and like, yeah, it's fucking insane, dude.
I feel absolutely horrible for those people, bro.
For
And
sure.
I just, you know what? Like everything this year has been like the big thing this year is
This year
fires.
can go fuck itself.
Well, yeah, I mean
This
the
this year can this whole fucking year it can be rolled up into a tight small package, put a bow on it, and fucking drop it into the Marianas Trench. Like fuck this year.
still got a bunch of time left for shit to happen.
I fucking know, dude. Like what else? Like come on, just give it to me all now. Like let me deal with this shit now.
The big thing is like the fires are kind of feeling the conspiracy wingnuts right now, right?
Oh, for
And
sure.
have you seen the whole it was a laser thing?
I'm surprised it wasn't Hunter Biden that started it
It's a
because he was smoking crack.
his fucking
Like,
laptop overheated. Like
yeah, his fucking getting all those Hillary Clinton emails and his fucking laptop overheated. He was smoking crack, wasn't paying attention, and next thing you know, boom, wildfires in Hawaii.
I don't understand why people can't just accept the fact that it was a fucking fire and accept the fact that some poor decisions were made. Like I'm not about to get into it for the next 25 minutes, but
Dude,
I
again, what was it? 2 months ago, the sky was orange. That was a wildfire.
yeah,
Shit happens. These happen. They happen all the time. They happen all the fucking time. And
that's
right
it.
now, it's happening on an island, like in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And these people are fucking suffering.
Yeah, they are. And I don't think talking about fucking space lasers is really helping anything. Like
Dude, there's always got to be fucking something with these people. Like people just can never accept shit.
if they want to really get into some shit, like I'll give them some validity. And if you go through, if you look at what's happening now in Maui, like all of these rich real estate investors are trying to buy this land off these people that lost everything for like
Mhm.
bare minimum, dude. Like they're
Mhm.
not paying you. Like if you want to talk about some bullshit that the government's doing and bullshit that capitalism is allowing, we don't got to talk about space lasers, bro. Like why are we
Yeah.
talking about that shit? Let's talk about how predatory capitalism is fucking eating up what these guys have left of a future. Like why don't we focus on that? Why can't we just focus on real shit?
Because real shit isn't real to these people.
It's not exciting.
No.
And I think that's kind of what it is. Anyhow, I feel bad for those people, man. And I think, like, I mean, we could have done a whole episode on this, but I don't know how much you can really talk about it. But don't tell me about fucking space lasers because I'm not gonna talk to you, man. I'm not. We're not doing space laser shit. Like, I'm not tolerating that. I'll tolerate a lot of conspiracy shit. maybe, I don't even know. But I'm not tolerating fucking space lasers, bro. Like, I'm not. This is ridiculous. Like, if you want to talk about it, let's talk about how capitalism is fucking eating their future alive as we speak. And
Yeah.
like there was a lot of mismanagement by local government too. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how they didn't
Yeah.
do what they should have done. Let's talk about that.
Well,
But I'm not talking about fucking
we're
space
so
lasers.
sorry you lost your generational family home and farm, but this Starbucks is going to look fucking great right here.
Yeah, and that's what it
Like-
is, like let's talk about that if you want to have a real conversation about it. And that was on a small scale level, and it could happen on a larger scale level. And
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we'll be talking about space lasers and instead of really addressing the problem, which is what we do in this country. So let's deflect and allow the real problem
Deflect,
to get
avoid, and
worse.
point the finger.
That's
The
it.
American way.
So yeah, this episode, let's get into it. We're gonna talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a lot of people probably like
Last podcast.
yeah, this is we'll address that. Do you want to address that now? Let's do it. Let's just get it out of the way. This is going to be our last podcast.
Which I don't know how I feel about. Like, I'm still kind of bummed about that. I'm excited where we're going.
Yeah,
I'm excited where the show's becoming. But this podcast is like, I love this podcast. So the fact that it's going to be no longer a thing,
well, it is.
it's weird.
It's just going to be
conflicted.
different.
Yes, we're gonna have to watch what we say a lot more.
Well, I don't think we really say anything that
we don't, but like,
like I think we'll be all right. And that's why I like doing this with you, because neither one of us really hurt people that don't deserve to be hurt. I don't want to sit here and say we don't say offensive shit, because like I say a lot of offensive shit about dumb people, but like we don't attack like
minorities.
Yeah, minorities and shit like that. And yeah, that's a good way to put it. So anyhow, we're done with the podcast after this episode.
The audio only podcast. I'm still gonna call it a fucking podcast.
It's like a vlog. It's like a video podcast. Like we're just moving to video. And I think it's kind of like when TV went from black and white to color, is the way that I see it.
Or when TV came out and it went from radio to television.
Right. And we're just we're bumping up. We're trying to expand the audience. We want to do more with the show. We'll be able to do like on-site stuff. Like we've talked about this, like doing food stuff. And it's weird because like we can do a podcast and we can talk about how like, oh, like let's go do a food thing, and you can find the video over on YouTube, which is like just nothing there, like video wise. And it's like, who's even going there at that point? Like, like people that are listening to the podcast aren't looking for us on YouTube, So it's kind of like, if we want to do those things, if we want to go do the ghost hunt, like we've talked about, little preview of something coming later this year.
Ooh.
Right. If we want to do that stuff and we want an audience for it and we want participation, you can't just like do it every 3 or 4 months and expect people to pay attention. So like the stuff that we want to do, the fun stuff we want to do is going to be a lot easier with video. So we're going to start doing live shows Saturday night. Most likely it'll stay Saturday night. There'll be posts put up on social media planning it. We're not just going to pop up out of nowhere. We will be like randomly, but the main show, the main brunt of it will be Saturday nights, and we'll do live shit, and it'll probably be a couple hours, which is longer than this even. You can come in, you can chat. It's youtube.com/@Insomniac Snack. Yeah, come live chat.
Again, you could literally just all one big word, YouTube Insomniac Snack.
I tried doing that and it would not fucking send us there. It would not send me there. Yeah, I don't know if maybe you can on like one device. I think it was on my phone. I tried doing it and it would not fucking put me in there. I tried setting up links when I was redoing shit, and it did not send me to Insomniac Snack. It said page not found.
It comes right up if I do it on my phone.
Anyhow, the official way is that. So yeah, we're gonna be doing live videos Saturday night. We'll be doing random streams throughout the week, random live things. Like I want to get together, we'll go do some shit. Maybe we'll just go sit by the fucking crick and smoke a joint and bullshit for half an hour. It's just gonna be all kinds of weird shit.
We're making ourselves more accessible to whoever wants to join in.
That's exactly it. And the participation level from people that want to listen and watch is going to be a lot more accessible. So I think it's an improvement.
You've heard our voices, now see our faces.
Exactly. Come look at our ugly faces, and we'll do some shit. I'm probably gonna look like shit because I don't comb my beard half the week. But
yeah, we're both fuck ugly, but it's all good.
Yeah, and we'll be doing like video games. We'll be watching shit. It'll be all kinds of good shit. So we've got that to look forward to. Now that that's out of the way,
A whole new world.
I'm not gonna make a joke about rubbing a lamp, dude.
Fucking rubble lamp.
Now that we've got that out of the way, I want to address something
Exercising
else.
a lot lately, dude.
No, look at me. I'm fat as fuck. Dude, look at these
No,
tits, dude.
I've been exercising.
Oh, you have
lately.
been.
Like,
Oh, okay.
I have nothing but fucking time, dude. Like, so I've been exercising and like, man, like I'm old. My fucking whole body hurts. I'm losing weight. Feel good.
I'm not about that.
I went for a walk down to the Rose Garden the other day. Had some dogs.
I'm
Having
I'm
good
not
times.
I could give a shit about fitness. Like I don't give a fuck, dude. Like people that like if I feel okay, I'm okay. Like people that are like fitness freaks and like I feel like they're very narcissistic. Like what are you doing, dude? Like you think that's gonna keep you like look at the old fat fucking frumpy men that fucking hang out at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
That are 80 years old and weigh 350 pounds and like they're alive. It doesn't matter, dude. When it's time to go, it's time to go. You're gonna die. Like I don't care what kind of shape you're in.
I'm, just trying to.
Yeah, and good for you. Like if you want to feel better and that's gonna make you feel better, then do it. But if you're trying to do it because it's gonna extend your fucking life or
No.
a lot of people do it for superficial reasons and because they're vain. And then they get hooked, dude, and it's an addiction. It becomes an addiction. I know some people like that. My stepdaughter and I laugh at people like we call them gym bros and they walk like they're
Yeah.
fucking like
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
can't even put their arms down. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
No.
Like
I'm not looking to be like a fucking cage fighter, dude. I just want to lose some fucking weight.
yeah, and that's cool and good for you. But like I
Get
don't
my
know.
cardio better. Cardio sucks.
I'd rather be a fat fucking bum slob than be a gym bro.
See, I've kind of been that for like, so long where like I just want to, I don't know, man. Like everything in my life is changing. Everything is fucking changed. So like I'm just trying to change with the times. That's all.
Yeah, and I mean, good for you as long as you're doing good and you're
Adjust, adapt. I feel, dude, I'm fucking feeling good. This is the best I've felt in a long time, like years. I'm in a good place right now, man. I really am, and I'm happy about that.
good. I figured you would be because it seemed like you were in a succubus type of situation.
Yeah, fucking Dracula had me.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like just even being sober has been eye opening. Like I feel good. I don't feel like shit. I don't have to worry about checking my phone the next morning and see who I fucking, called or anything.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, I know what I did last night. I've been reading, I was going through some of my father's books and I found he has an original copy of Amityville Horror. So I've been reading that. Like, and just, man, I'm enjoying life, man, going back to basics. And it's fun. It's fucking great.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't shit on you for that. I'm glad you're doing good.
Drinking plenty of water.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not drinking fucking water.
I mean, I had some Gatorade, but I went through that shit in like a day.
I'll live on Monster and coffee, thanks.
Yeah, well, I just cleaned out the coffee pot. So waffy.
I think we really should all get into this. I don't mind if we've kind of got a long episode this week. It's just going to be a bitch to edit. So let's kind of get into this. I kind of want to set kind of like the stage here. So we're going to be covering Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And a lot of people probably hear this and they're probably going to think like, they're doing like a movie type thing. And it's not really so much a movie. There's a lot of underlying things about this movie, right? And I think a lot of the reason why I wanted to do this, I mean, I'm a big fan of it and the game's coming out and all that shit. I think it fits with what we've done this season with the revival of Insomniac Snack. If you go through and you look at our episodes, a lot of episodes really dig into like the struggles of life and American life and kind of where we are as a country and as people, right? If you go through and look, like every fucking episode, like starting with the submarine and like rich people, and we talked about drugs, and that's a big deal with society. We talked about homelessness. Yeah, homelessness, the mole people. Like every episode has kind of been like a peek into what it's like being in society nowadays. It's not just American society.
Yeah.
So this movie's no different. I think that it fits.
And as a matter of fact, like this movie being based on true events was also commentary on and that era, what was going on in the politics, the political climate of the United States when this movie came out. It was kind of an indirect just blam, like, this is what's going on. So
Hold
like
on.
it's pretty relevant.
Hold on, we gotta back up. Like, I don't know what's going on with your fucking audio. Like, it keeps getting mechanical.
It's probably because I'm holding the mic.
No. It has nothing to do with that because your video keeps stop. It's like an internet connection thing. I don't know. I'll fix that. See, so like, yeah, like you're right. And
And we're talking about the first movie. We're not talking about the second or third part where his uncle or whatever gets the chainsaw to the ass and he goes, "Oh, my hemorrhoids."
See, all right. So yeah, we're mainly talking about the first one, right? And the thing
The
is,
best one. It's the best one.
I don't know
Whatever. I
about
don't even know
that. I
what
mean,
year it came
I
out.
think 74 it came out.
74. Yeah.
I'm not about to get into argue about which one's the best one. I think all of them were really, really good. A lot of people might disagree with that, but I thought they were all really good. I really liked Leatherface, which was like the prequel when he was younger, right?
Yeah. Do they ever mention his name?
I don't think so. Like they just kind of call him Bubba.
But his name's Chet. Seems
Oh,
like a Chet.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I don't know about that. So look, so you had mentioned that it was based off true events. It's loosely based off a true
Yeah.
event, and the rest of it is very political. The
Yeah.
true event is pretty much Leatherface, Bubba Sawyer, and his connection to Ed Gein, which I'm not even gonna get into Ed Gein's wild fucking notorious serial killer in Wisconsin. You could do your own research if you don't know about that. I'm not even, that's a whole nother fucking wormhole. But that's where it was based off true events. And that's kind of how they got the attention for the film, right? Like, is by saying that it was based off a true event, but it was very loose. The rest of it, they went in, and this is kind of what you were saying. They really kind of dove into the political thing because we had Watergate going on, we had Vietnam going on. They kind of showed Texas like being desolate, rundown gas stations, you know, dead cows in the field. It kind of was a really
Corrupt
good,
police.
yeah. It was symbolism for the end of the American dream. You know what I mean? And that's where they
Yeah.
were going with it. It was also a movie about the fucking meat industry.
Mhm.
There's so many underlying values. There's a big part of it about how women are treated too. And there's so much into it. In the beginning, you notice like they're talking about the sledgehammer to the cow, like what's the most humane way to do it. And like Franklin starts talking about how they've got a gun now that just, I'm not sure exactly how he says it.
It's
Yeah,
a
the bolt
Yeah.
goes in and then they pull out and it dies, and they pick
Yeah.
up the hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker educates him, and a lot of people don't really pick up on this, like they just want to watch it as a horror movie. He educates them about how it's not more humane to the cow, and the whole underlying concept of that is how advancements in technology are putting people out of jobs. They're taking our jobs. Like here we are again, you know.
Yeah, fuckers.
And a lot of it is about how machinery and stuff like that have taken jobs away from, like, you know, regular people, and they're suffering now and they're out of work and they have no jobs. And I mean, this is in 74, dude. This is 50 years ago. It'll be 50 years old next year.
I know. Yeah.
And it's the same fucking thing today. Same thing.
It's only gotten worse. It's only gotten worse. And Tobe Hooper, you know, the guy who directed it,
Right.
yeah, I mean, he really was making a statement with this movie, and
He wanted this movie to be rated PG so more people could see it, and they slapped it. There's less than 2 ounces of blood in this movie, but they had to
there's not a
slap
whole
an
lot.
R rating on it. Like, but you're right. Like, carry on. Like, he wanted people to see this movie. Go on.
Well, I knew people, like I actually knew people that saw this movie when it came out in the theaters, and this was a years old conversation they had, and like it fucking terrified people when they saw it because they marketed it based on true events. People thought it was like a real thing. If you've seen the movie, I'm sure you have. If you're listening to the show, it's built like almost like a documentary at the beginning and the end of like police photos and stuff, and like it fucking. I mean, people were throwing up in the theaters. They were fucking running out. Like it had a fucking impact. This movie and The Exorcist were probably the two horror movies that really fucking changed the game.
Was actually banned in over 20 countries.
Yeah, and it's a violent movie.
They made a video game for the Atari, and they refused. Like, that game did so bad because stores refused to shelve it.
Yeah,
they didn't want it.
No, yeah, this movie, like it's a classic, especially if you're a horror movie fan. Like, it's a fucking classic.
Well, if we're getting into that, I mean, it influenced a lot of stuff. It really changed the game. Like, you had Psycho before this, right, with Norman Bates and the whole creepy killer. This set the scene,
which was also loosely based on the life of Ed Gein.
Right. A lot of Silence of the Lambs with Hannibal Lecter. You know, there's a lot of them. This movie influenced other movies and set the scene for that big, massive, like slow lurking serial killer, you know, that was just ugly.
Absolutely. As well as the other, like that psychotrauma shit. Like, there was just a movie that came out called X, I think it's called. Very similar to kind of this movie, you know. The exception being that movie, like they're going out, I think it's in Texas, they're going out there to fucking film a porno or something, and then, a bunch of murders happen. But that same type of styling, that same vision, the same directorial stance on it,
Yeah.
it's still going on to this day. Like,
Yeah.
and it's a great premise. It's a great format, and they're fun movies.
This movie influenced a lot of other movies. It influenced like a lot of people. If you talk to directors and writers of future horror movies, Evil Dead, Halloween,
Jason Voorhees, man.
yeah, well, Halloween, Jason was that's a whole nother story. Like they brought out Jason because they needed somebody. They took a lot of inspiration from Michael Myers for Jason. You know that. I'm not trying to tell you, I'm trying to
Right.
tell people listening. And they needed an answer to Michael Myers, and they kind of copied Michael Myers to make Jason. And so but still, it still comes from Texas Chainsaw. Ridley Scott said that this was an inspiration for Alien, which is really bizarre because you wouldn't think like Alien connects to Texas Chainsaw, but it does.
Well, I mean, and to put it into context, like this movie, the budget on this movie was roughly somewhere between $80,000 to $140,000.
Right.
This movie made in the box office $30.9 million.
Huge.
It proved that a horror movie like this violent, this graphic, and although you said there was, however many ounces of blood they actually used in it, but it was ultra fucking violent at that time. It still is.
It is.
Even just at that time.
It's still listed as one of the most controversial horror movies.
Yeah, and it just proved that a horror movie can be fucking successful.
Another movie, before we move on past this, that it inspired was The Hills Have Eyes, which I think was great. The original Wes Craven one.
Wes Craven. Yeah.
It also is cited as a huge influence for Rob Zombie, which you can totally see in his movies. You totally feel Texas Chainsaw. And I'm not talking, we're not even getting into it. I love Rob Zombie movies. You could fuck off. 31 is an amazing film.
Never seen it.
31 is fucking amazing, dude. Go watch 31. You could talk about Halloween. You could talk about all his other shit. No, watch 31.
He killed the Halloween franchise. He almost killed the Halloween franchise.
No, he did.
Dude, John Carpenter, after seeing those movies, was like, motherfucker.
I don't even
now I'm
care.
going to come back and I'm going to revisit this character so we can fucking put levity to it.
I think some of those Halloween movies, I think the third Halloween movie by John Carpenter sucked that they just did.
Halloween Ends? Yeah.
I think it sucked. I think the second Halloween that Rob Zombie did was better. And I don't know. We're not getting into it. We've been through this before. I like him. You don't. It's fine. Watch 31. It doesn't feel like a Rob Zombie movie. It's very good. So that's my opinion. Just check it out. It influenced him, right? It influenced his movies. You could see it all over The Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. Like it feels like a complete ripoff, or paying homage to it, whatever. So that's kind of like where you get to with all this. But to go back, and I kind of wanted to kind of dig back into like the underlying tones of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So we talked about how it kind of sets a stage for like the dying American dream. It talks about machines and technology taking jobs and leaving people without income. It covered a lot of stuff. Some people refer to it as the ultimate vegetarian film, right? And the meat industry. And I think it was Hooper that actually said that he became a vegetarian after watching this. Is that correct? Did you read that?
I don't know if I read that, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it definitely...
He said he gave up meat while making the film. A direct quote is, "In a way, I thought the heart of the film was about meat. It's about the chain of life and killing sentient beings."
Right.
How do you say that guy's name?
Tobe Hooper?
No, Del Toro.
Okay. Yeah.
What's his name? How do you say his first name? I don't know.
Guillermo?
Yeah, whatever. Del Toro. Actually.
Oh, yeah. Guillermo del Toro. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you say it. So he became a vegetarian after seeing the film. So it's a lot of it, and it's not just the cows, and it's not just the meat industry. The way that they did the whole cannibalism thing is really a tone for the meat industry too, right? Like the way that they were hanging people up on hooks. Obviously, it's a cannibalistic film, or a cannibalistic family in the film. So I mean, it's kind of, from the director himself, he says it's a film about the meat industry, which is really fucking wild when you get down to it. And when you watch it after hearing this, you're like, oh fuck, it really is.
Oh, for sure.
There's also some other things in the film. Kim Newman says that the depiction of the Sawyer family during the dinner scene parodies a typical American sitcom family. The gas station owner is the breadwinning father. The killer Leatherface is depicted as a bourgeoisie housewife, which is like he's got the makeup on in that scene and the hair and everything. The hitchhiker is depicted as a rebellious teenager, and then they've even got the old decaying grandfather. And it's Tobe Hooper's way of bringing like what you see on TV at that time, which was that typical American family, right? And they're all sitting down and they're all eating dinner, and you know there's human meat on the dinner table. They're going to feed it to her, right? To Sally, wasn't it? And it really kind of it's disgusting. Like it makes you uncomfortable. But what they're showing is not really like you got to take the symbolism, and it's not they're eating human meat. It's symbolism. Yeah, go on.
Symbolism. That's all I was going to say. That's exactly what it is. It's symbolism for, what we do. You sit down for a family dinner, you're all tearing into a rack of ribs. Like, I mean,
that thing was alive at one point.
Exactly. And when you put it is like, no, that those are human ribs you're eating. Like it makes it disturbing, but it's no different than what we do every night when we sit down and eat dinner.
What's the difference? Like really, like, I mean, what's the difference? So being depicted as like the ultimate vegetarian movie, I don't think is so far-fetched, but it's not something that you really think about unless like, unless it's put in your head to think that way. The other thing that is an underlying theme in this movie is violence against women. And this is back in the 70s. Like you hear about it now and people are like, but like, dude, this was 50 fucking years ago. It was a lot different. And like, and people are like, no, it's not. And when you get into it, look at how the men were killed and look at how the women were killed. The men were killed instantly. It was just, you're dead, you're done, over. The women were tortured. They were fucking mentally tortured. Just absolutely disgusting. Those are the scenes that made people sick in the theaters, is what was happening to like these women in this film.
And a woman's the heroine of it.
Exactly. Which I think is fantastic. And I think this movie kind of really set precedent for future movies with the whole final girl thing, right? That everybody knows about, and with Sally being like one of the original final girls, if not the original. I could be wrong. I don't want to say she was the original, but it's one of the originals, and they continued to do that with the rest of the films in the franchise. How many films were there? 8, I believe, in the franchise, if you go through it.
I don't even know, because like they had the Texas Chainsaw New Generation with fucking Matthew McConaughey, I think, was in those fucking movies, or that movie. Reese Witherspoon, I think, was in that movie.
I thought that was a pretty good one. I honestly thought that was a pretty good one.
I don't know how many films this franchise has. It's fucking, I mean, I got the fucking link open right here. I could just click it, but that's, that makes too much sense.
Somewhere around here.
I got it right here. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different films.
9
in the whole franchise. 9. The last one came out February 18th of 2022, which may be did they do a Netflix movie?
Yeah, and I thought it was good. A lot of people kind of shit on it, but I didn't think it was great.
Isn't it supposed to be like a direct sequel to the first part?
Yeah, and I think they did that. They did that with another one too, where it was
they did the whole thing with like what they did with Halloween.
Right, and that's fine. I don't care when horror movies do that. Like, give me more stories about the characters. I'm down,
especially the original idea.
Go ahead and milk it. But they kind of carried the theme about the violence towards women and how like they made women look weak and vulnerable and easy to prey on, and kind of like show.
And they were throwing around like rag dolls and
right, like just absolutely incapable of handling themselves. And on the flip side of that, it shows how violent men are to women, and this like caveman style mentality of how men treat women, especially like physically and mentally, and it's something that just kind of gets lost in the movie because a lot of people just, like here he comes with the chainsaw. He barely even used the fucking chainsaw in that movie, dude.
Yeah.
He used the mallet. He used the sledgehammer in that movie to kill almost everybody. Yeah. And meat hooks, and his main weapon. And I think like there's some video games that came out that have Leatherface in it. And I think like Dead by Daylight really depicted the sledgehammer as being his main weapon. Like if you know anything about Dead by Daylight, he had a sledgehammer, he had a chainsaw, but but if he got close enough to you with that fucking sledgehammer, he was gonna fuck you up, dude. And like a lot of people forget about the sledgehammer, and that's something that I kind of want to
Yeah.
bring in,
Well, I mean, the chainsaw, like, because that's terrifying. Somebody wearing
Right.
a human skinned mask of somebody else's face and wielding a fucking chainsaw coming. That's fucking terrifying.
Right. Okay. So let's get out of. Is there anything else you want to add, like statistic wise, underlying themes, factual, anything like that, before we kind of just?
I think we kind of covered it all.
Okay.
I mean, again, people that are listening to this more than likely have seen this movie, and I
Right.
think they'll understand what we're talking about. If you haven't seen the movie, do yourself a fucking favor and go out and watch it.
Go watch all of them and try to watch them in order. And some of them aren't as good. The original is
The original is the best. Yeah.
The second one is fantastic, dude. The second one is very gory. It's got Chop Top in it.
Yeah, they got goofy as they went on. Chop Top, who we talked about, Rob Zombie. I mean, that dude has been in pretty much, I think, everything Rob Zombie's done since.
Bill Moseley is amazing. Chop Top Moseley, and he's a good dude too. But it's just like where they went, like the influence on pop culture. What's that movie where I think it was a comedy, and the dude puts like sandwich meat on his face, and he's like, "I'm Leatherface." What is that? Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Summer School. Isn't that Summer School? Is because weren't those two guys in the movie like obsessed with? I think the guy's nickname was Chainsaw.
Chainsaw.
They were obsessed with fucking horror movies and shit. And
I don't think that's where that happened. I think this is more of a newer like 90s 2000 movie. Summer School. Well, let's go to Summer School. That's one of the ones that I want to talk about. It's one of my favorite like stupid ass 80s movies.
Love that movie.
It's great, dude. Like those two guys, man. What's the other
Chainsaw
dude's
and
name?
Dave, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chainsaw and Dave, right? And they were just like the best part.
I haven't thought about this movie in fucking decades.
It's so good, dude. And they got the lab coats on, and like they're teaching the foreign exchange student about horror movies and show her like special effects and like just absolutely amazing. So and then there was, I gotta look this up. Here it is. It says, "Look at me, I'm Leatherface." Oh my god, I'm such an idiot, dude. It comes from Idle Hands, which is a very underlooked
I haven't seen that movie, and I haven't seen that movie in a while either.
Yeah, it was fucking Seth whatever. What the hell's his name?
Seth Green.
Yeah, I went out and smoked a joint, so now my brain's kind of fuzzy because it kicked in the mushrooms from last night. So it was Seth Green, and he put the fucking sandwich meat, and he's sitting there in a chair, and he's just like, "I'm Leatherface, look at me," you know. And it's absolutely great scene, and it's played in, I believe, like they had him in Family Guy. I mentioned the Atari video game. We have a new video game that just dropped this weekend, which is absolutely a fucking blast. You can find you'll be able to find a lot of clips and gameplay on YouTube for that.
You can follow us on YouTube and see some of it.
Right, yeah, you'll be able to see it. I'm gonna make like a playlist. It's a big game. This is a big movie to me. This is my favorite horror movie of all time. Right. Favorite horror movie, favorite horror villain, slasher, whatever.
Right. Gotcha.
Also, oddly enough, and this is just freak accident because I had no clue, because I don't really talk to or know my father, but it was my father's favorite horror movie too. So really fucking weird that it worked out that way, man. But this is and you know what's really weird about that? Like that dude watched it like a normal person would watching it, and he just, the slashers and the hillbilly effect and shit like that. He didn't give a fuck about the undertones that we've talked about in this show. Like that's not his thing. Yeah, you know what I mean? So right. So like that's not even that's not the reason I like it. Like I like it for the same reason he liked it. And I like the brutal fucking terror, the chainsaw, the Ed Gein reference, I love the hitchhiker. He's one of my favorite fucking characters.
Yeah, because he's just so unnerving. Like imagine having that guy in a closed vehicle with you. Like he
looks like James Franco.
Yeah,
he looks like fucking James Franco, dude. Like, and it tweaks me out because James Franco is a creep. So like, you know, I don't know, like, but I get strong James Franco fucking vibes from this dude. I think it's one of the best films that's ever been done, and I'm glad that they're kind of coming back with it. I think the Netflix movie could have been better. I hope that we kind of get some, you know, more films out of it, some shit like that. I've got usually it's behind me, it's not behind me now. For my birthday one year, Brooke got me a replica Bubba Sawyer apron, and it's got blood splatter on it and shit like that. And
right. I've seen it.
I wear it around and shit, and like I'm a big fan, dude. I'm a big fan. I love the chainsaw bit. There's something that I had seen somewhere, maybe somebody just made it up, but I've said it quite a bit, and it's I love the smell of chainsaw oil in the morning.
Right.
In that scene, you know, speaking of chainsaws in the morning, I don't think that we can really finish talking about this movie without talking about probably, it might be the most iconic scene, if not its second, because when he grabs her when she's coming out the door out the screen door and he grabs her from behind the waist and pulls her in. That might be, but one of these two is the very end scene.
The very end scene. Yeah.
Bubba's got the chainsaw and he's doing the Bubba dance, the chainsaw shuffle.
He's
and
swinging it around in the
right
air and
in the sunrise and like, you know, the fields and everything. Did you know that was not meant to be in the film? That was completely accidental.
I do know
wild.
that. Yep.
That's wild.
Yeah. And it's the most like when you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's the first thing that pops in my head is when he's swinging at the very end of the movie.
Yeah.
She's in the fucking truck. She's driving away and he's like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's just violently swinging this thing through the air like, you son of a bitch.
Absolutely frustrated. And, you know, I think another thing that while doing this research that I didn't really come across a lot, but something that I've always thought about is I think that this movie also has an undertone of mental illness.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Hitchhiker, yeah. Go on.
I was just going to say that the whole movie, it's all about mental illness as well. Like, there's no doubt about that. Even the fucking, you know, because the kids, the group of teens at the beginning, they're the ones that are superior or whatnot, and they're the ones that are like everything's wrong with everybody. And it was just kind of like, well, look, motherfuckers, like this is reality.
Yeah,
this is the world you fucking live in. We don't live in your world. You're in our world.
Yeah,
and definitely the mental illness and stuff. Yeah, for sure. It's not even underlined. It's right up front. It's right in your fucking face, right from the beginning when they pick up the hitchhiker.
Yeah, and two of these guys in this family are severely mentally ill, and you can tell there was, and this is kind of what happens in backwoods fucking skirts of society families, and mental illness is not addressed. It's not an issue.
It's the majority.
Yeah, and they just kind of it's an abuse type of thing. The gas station, whatever, like the father, right? He just really abused and manipulated these two boys to do what he wanted them to do their whole life, and
which again is what happens. It's societal. A lot of parents push their kids to be like them or to be better than them, or you're going into a fraternity whether you want to or not because I did.
Yeah,
that type of shit. Like it's
exactly. That's exactly it. I don't know. I think the movie was way ahead of its time, but I think it did good for because the 70s were kind of scary. I think they did a great job with the movie. I think it was very well written. I think the undertones, the little Easter eggs scattered throughout it, even the fact that like the tough guys were kind of killed off right in the beginning, but Franklin in the wheelchair ended up making it to almost the end of the fucking movie.
Almost the end. Yeah. Well, I liked how they did that, because you're tough guy. Like, okay, well, this guy is going to be, he's going to be there at the end. He's going to fight him. And it's like, no, fuck, he's not. Kill off the strong characters first, and you're left with nothing but the weak character. Again, weak characters. You're left with the girls and a guy in a wheelchair.
Right, exactly. And you think that those two are going to go first, especially back then. Like, I mean, we've seen it a million times now, but back then,
one of the best deaths in any horror movie is was it at the second or third Friday the 13th? The dude in the wheelchair. You just see him fucking going back down the stairs.
Yeah,
with a fucking like machete in his head or whatever.
Absolutely insane scene. Like, and again, influenced by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like you can see it in so many films. And I think I don't know what the horror genre would be like if it wasn't for that movie. And I've got a lot of appreciation for it. And I don't know. You know what else about about Franklin and the wheelchair, right? I don't know if it was intentional or just the way that they kind of depicted disabled people back then. It wasn't just that you were physically disabled. Almost everybody in a wheelchair, they always, or with any disability, they always went hand in hand with them having a mental disability, which you can see with Franklin. Like, I mean, he totally has a mental disability, but when you listen to him and you hear the way he talks, he's the one that keeps saying that guy is going to come back. I'm worried he's going to come back. Like, he's trying to warn Sally, like all of this shit, dude. He's the smartest one in the whole film. He's the smartest one. So I think it was intentionally done that way, that like it was to kind of be like, look, motherfucker, like don't underestimate anybody.
I just looked up some stuff about this. Marilyn Burns, who played Sally.
Yeah.
Ironic, she was born in Erie, Pennsylvania, and ironically enough, she died August 5th in 2014 in Houston, Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
She went to college there, actually. She went to University of Texas at Austin.
That's fucking crazy, dude. I did not know that. I know that like there's some like weird shit about some of that stuff, I don't know. Like I've read kind of some of it, and some of it's really interesting, but some of it's kind of drawn out and there isn't a whole lot to talk about it. But I don't know, man. I think it's one of the best horror movies, if not the best horror movie that I've ever seen.
It's up there. It's not my favorite.
What's your favorite favorite horror movie?
My favorite, it's not just my favorite horror movie, my favorite
It's your
movie of all
franchise.
times.
Oh,
No,
go
just
ahead,
my
go ahead.
favorite movie of all time is A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984, A Nightmare
Yeah.
on Elm Street. Followed by 1A, 1B would be John Carpenter's Halloween. Those are my two favorite. Other than that, like the Texas Chainsaw's up there, top 5 for sure.
Yeah, top 5. I never liked the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I thought they were okay. The Nintendo game, that was one of my favorite games ever, dude. It was
love that
so
movie.
fun. The soundtrack, all of it. I kind of got into them probably 2-3 years ago, and I kind of have a really good appreciation for it now at this point. I think I first what sucked me in was New Nightmare, which a lot of people shit on, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So I was kind of like, nah, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. Maybe I'll rewatch the Nightmare movies, and yeah, they're pretty good.
I love the first part. The first part's the shit.
The first
And the
movie?
second part, the first part.
Yeah, okay.
And like the second part, which is completely goes against the entire, because I mean, he comes out and fucking at a party, like he's not in a dream at that point. But there's an iconic line in there where he puts his arms out like Christ and says, "You are all my children now." Iconic. It's an iconic character.
He's got a weird connection to children, man.
No, the original script, which they cut parts out of, and in the reboot they actually bring in, is he was a child molester.
I know. That's why they burned him.
He's not a good dude. And in the original part, he actually Nancy had a sister that he killed. That like when in the first part when the mother's down in the boiler room and shows Nancy the glove, the extended scene, she explains why they killed him. And part of it was because he killed Nancy's sister.
No shit.
That's why he had the connection to Nancy. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's kind of what turned me away from that movie in the very beginning, like why I never really got into it.
Well, they took it out of they edited it out of the original movie because they were like, this is going to be X-rated, like we can't. And then they kept calling him a child killer, like they just kept calling him that throughout the series. But
and I can get behind that. That's scary.
he was a child molester.
Yeah, he was a molester. And again, to go back to Texas Chainsaw, like they didn't have to do shit like that. It just feels like they jumped the shark. Like they could have toned it down a little bit and still been absolutely horrifying.
You got to remember, Nightmare on Elm Street was 1984,
right?
So it's 10 years after Texas Chainsaw, and like 3 or 4 years after Halloween, and I believe a year or two after Friday the 13th. So they were just trying to come up with something different, somebody that wasn't walking around with a chainsaw or a sledgehammer or a machete or an axe. They gave him the glove hand. And ultimately, like Freddy's fucking like that would be terrifying too, because he's in your dreams. You have to sleep at some fucking point. Like you can't, like, and they taught the reboot, they did the micro naps, which I'm not even fucking get into right now. But like if Freddy's after you, like you're going to run into him because you have to fucking go to his realm at some fucking point.
Yeah.
You're going there, whether you want to or not. That's why they created that hypnosil, which made you not dream.
I think the idea of the character is fantastic. I think the way he looks is fantastic. I think it's terrifying, like you just said, you have to sleep. I think it's fantastic, and I think they had so much they just didn't need to jump the shark with the child molester thing.
Yeah,
and
well,
I just
man.
But they did, and it's over, and they've tried to fix it, and I give them credit for not sticking to their guns. And
did you ever hear about can't think of the guy's name now, the dude that directed Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, Peter Jackson.
He wanted to do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie and had a script that sounded fucking amazing, but it got turned down. And the script was like Freddy is, because he lives off your fear.
Right.
And it got to a point where no one was scared of him. And like kids would literally like take sleeping pills to go to dreams and just fuck with him and beat the shit out of him and blah, blah, blah. Well, what was going to happen is a kid was going to like accidentally get killed. And it was going to send that fear of, oh, fuck, Freddy's back. And then he was just going to start getting more and more powerful because people were starting to be scared of him again. It would have been a good fucking script. And then instead they ended up doing the reboot, and they throw some elements in there, or not the reboot, Freddy versus Jason, rather, where if you remember that movie, he can't kill anybody right away because no one's scared of him anymore. That's why he sends Jason to kill these kids, so they think it's him.
Right. Have you ever, speaking of Peter Jackson, you ever watch his first 2 films?
Didn't he do Dead Alive?
He did Brain Dead and he did Bad Taste.
Yeah.
Which are fucking bizarre, dude.
Yeah.
Absolutely bizarre. Late 80s, early 90s. And
he was a horror movie director.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, if I was a director, that'd be the genre I would want to get into.
Yeah, that's where I would want to go. There's anyhow, I think that pretty much covers most of what I want to talk about with this, right?
The Tejas Chainsaw. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Tejas Chainsaw.
I think it's the best horror movie ever made, and it's definitely my top. And I think it kind of says something about us that we didn't go for the Halloween or the Friday the 13th, and we went a little different with that, a little more unique. I would say they're unique in the genre. You know, they were at the time. Anyhow, they've been copied and pasted so many times.
Yeah, there's movies today, there's no fucking original ideas anymore.
You know what? I mean, there's some out there that are kind of pushing some bounds. Like, I still think the Evil Dead franchise is doing pretty good. Evil Dead Rise was really good, dude.
I fucking loved it.
I thought it was great. And like I cannot finish this. I cannot fucking finish this conversation in this
I
episode.
will not.
I refuse to do that without talking about Terrifier and Art the Clown and the breath of fresh air that they brought into Damien Leone is absolutely amazing. All Hallows Eve was okay, but I'm going to kind of disregard it. Terrifier 1, Terrifier 2 with David Howard Thornton, just absolutely amazing. Refreshed the whole horror genre. And
Again, ultra violent.
ultra violent, like come on down to the Clown Cafe. I love that song, dude. That's my ringtone actually right now, the Clown Cafe. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen, have you seen the second one?
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing, dude. Terrifier, I'm not gonna pick between the two, but I'm just gonna say Terrifier is probably number 3 in my top horror movies. And then probably number 2 and number 3 would be Evil Dead. And those are my top 3. Like I'm going franchises. I can't pick movies. I gotta go franchises because they're all
No doubt.
franchises, right? So Texas, Terrifier, and Evil Dead are my top 3. And I don't know, like the rest are kind of littered. There's a whole bunch of different shit, that
Sure. Yeah.
I could probably swap and ship. And there we go. And I think that's our Texas Chainsaw wrap. We're about out of time. We got to take a break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do the final audio only midnight bite before we go into better midnight bites, and we'll wrap up the show. Sound good?
Sounds good, man.
All right, I'm going to smoke another joint.
All right. Let's microwave some shit.
Not weed. Don't put it's that time of year that weed is drying. Don't dry your weed in the microwave.
Yeah, don't do that. This is a PSA from Insomniac Snack.
Don't do it in
Don't
the
microwave
oven
your weed.
either. Don't microwave
Yeah.
it. It's horrible, dude.
Hey, Crow,
What's up?
did you know Insomniac Snack is on YouTube?
I actually do know that.
Yeah, well, now everyone else does too. We have exclusive content on there, from shorts to videos to full episode. Insomniac Snack, all in one place. And it's easy to get to. YouTube Insomniac Snack. That's all you have to do right there. It's like a cheat code to unlock Insomniac Snack.
YouTube.com/@Insomniac Snack.
You could just literally type all one word, all one gigantic word, YouTube Insomniac Snack, and it'll pop right up.
Is that right?
That is 100% correct.
If you just Google fucking Insomniac Snack, we're the only thing that pops up.
Yeah.
Like, just throw it
Right.
into fucking Google.
And now, the Midnight Bite.
You're listening to the Insomniac Snack with your hosts, ScairKroh and Adam. Only one of them has a regular name.
Ding.
Ding. Ding. They don't ding anymore.
No, they do that beep, beep, beep.
So this is our last midnight bite. I mean, for the podcast.
Yeah.
It's cool though, because like I'm looking forward to midnight bites with visuals because we can actually show food. It's gonna be better. Like we can eat food, like we can do food challenges, we can get together and do like a fucking pizza at a local restaurant and live stream that. Like it's gonna be better. The midnight bite's gonna be improved, in my opinion. Shut up, man. You'll be all right. You gotta learn to accept change.
I am. I'm trying, motherfucker. Okay. I'm fucking trying.
Especially improvements. Like my mom gave me some shit about this. She's like, "Oh, I just don't like change." And I'm like, "Oh, it's not your show." So I don't I mean, this is half your show, so it's a little bit different, but my mom shits on like everything I do.
This podcast is just, it's meant so much to me. And like, it's just going to be weird not, doing it. Well, we're still sorted. It's just going to be a visual version of it.
It's going to be better.
Yeah. Well,
and it's going to be longer and it's not going to be so rushed. A lot of the things that I think you and I have trouble with is keeping focus and keeping tunnel vision on a topic, and we bounce around. And on a live show, we can bounce around and we can come back. It's more free flowing. And I think that's going to be more comfortable and more fun for us to do, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So anyhow, let's get into the midnight bite. What are you shoving down your throat tonight?
I got some fucking hot wings.
You've been hooked on hot wings, dude.
Well,
I get it. Like I go through this phase too, and it's like, all right, now I need it every day.
I got photos I'm gonna send you so we can have we can put that up on the socials if we choose to. I got some
It's a photo or video. Photos are hard to post.
It's just a photo.
It doesn't get much like traction. Like photos suck. They
Okay,
like
well, you know,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like
shit on everything I fucking do. It's cool.
I'm
Everyone else
not.
is too.
You should have taken some video, man. People want to see video. That's why we're moving to video. Like they
You know,
don't
well,
want to see pictures.
I suck and I can't do anything right. I get it.
Dude, take some video. Like get the sauce all up and around your mouth.
Oh yeah, man, that's what people want to see.
That's what they want to see, stuff all up around your mouth.
I don't think anybody wants to see that, but okay. Yeah.
I would watch it. I like to watch people eat. There was a 10-minute video of Macaulay Culkin eating a couple slices of pizza that he got out of a brown paper bag, and he just sat there for 10 minutes. This was like fucking 10 years ago, maybe longer. And he just sat in a plain ass room at a plain ass table and just ate some pizza and didn't say nothing, didn't do nothing. I watched that video probably a dozen times, if not more.
You know,
I don't.
maybe next time I'll take a video, but
Yeah, take some video, record your
maybe there won't be a next time. Maybe my midnight bite's gonna be a bullet.
Get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing this shit alone. I'll just cancel the whole show. I'm done. Like that's it.
Well, I'll live stream it so we can get some views.
If you want to kill the midnight bite, then go ahead and do yourself off.
Yeah, my midnight bite's a bullet.
Go ahead and do it. So you're eating wings. Where are you getting them? Wingstop?
No, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Or yeah, that's what it is.
That's a pictures I had anyway. You know that now they're
Shut the
irrelevant.
fuck up. What kind of wings did you get? Those fucking regular hot wings that
Hot
you
wings,
like?
yeah, and they actually had like a good kick to them. Like they actually
look
had a
good.
really good kick. Yeah, they were good.
I never really saw them until like you sent me a picture of yours like a week ago.
Yeah, no, they were good. That's when I had it.
I ate mushrooms the last thing I ate.
My midnight bite was shrooms.
Holy shit, a fucking year and a half old bag of shrooms. So I think I'm going to kind of stick with the topic of the show, and I'm going to do some barbecuing today.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna just grill maybe some chicken kebabs with some veggies and shit. Yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, dude.
some hot dogs.
Mm,
You can't turn the grill on without putting hot dogs on the fucking thing.
seemingly.
I put some grapes in some pickle juice the other day, and I tried
Solid.
them finally. Dude, that was the worst fucking thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't pickle a grape.
I thought it would be kind of good, you know, like the sweet with the sour, and it was just not something
Yeah.
I'm ever gonna eat again.
No. Pickled grapes, no, dog. Not my bag, baby. Yeah. Fucking sluts and busted nuts. Yeah.
Okay. What the fuck? All right. All right.
Oh, shit.
We're done with the midnight bite. That's it for the midnight bite. Nice and simple. Next
Rest
week,
in peace, Midnight Bite.
we still got the midnight bite. We're still gonna be doing it. I'll
Yeah.
get a fucking microwave and put it behind me. And when we're doing the live stream on YouTube next week, I'll just fucking set that microwave and we'll ding and we'll do it. Like you could see it. I'm not eating any fucking food out of it though. I will be goddamned if I'm gonna eat it.
Goddamn.
Like, but I will go get a microwave and we can just visually, I'll hold it up to the fucking camera and everything. And all you'll see is just microwave.
And me looking in the screen going, what has happened?
I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I never even thought, like, sometimes this podcast is completely off the rails. And
Sometimes.
like
Sometimes.
the first couple seasons were so disorganized and like chaotic, I guess.
The first episode we started recording, I think during COVID.
I don't know if it was during COVID. I know there was a big snowstorm and I was sitting in my car doing it on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was sitting there with my earpiece in, fucking. We were talking about horror movies there, so it's kind of appropriate, I guess. This podcast starts and ends with horror movies.
Yeah, I don't really look at it as it ending. I think it's going to be great. I think after a couple episodes on YouTube and a couple live streams, I think you're going to be like, "Fuck, this is so much better." I'm looking forward to the future.
I've just had so much change, like in the last few years. Like,
Yeah.
and here's another thing that's fucking changing. I'm not crying, I'm sweating.
It looks like you're crying. I'm just gonna push you, man. Like we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this live stream shit. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna get audience participation. We're gonna have visuals. We're gonna do ghost hunts. We're gonna do food challenges.
It's a brave new world.
Yeah, dude. Like, you know, I'm gonna have to comb my beard and it'll be good. And like when we are recording, like they'll be lengthy. It'll be more than the hour podcast that gets put out every week. Like they could do like normally we record for like what 2.5, 3 hours. So
Something like that, yeah.
I would imagine these live streams are going to be about 2.5, 3 hours, and sometimes more and more often. It'll be more than once a week. It'll be like 420 smoke sessions, for 5 minutes, or fucking a cup of coffee in the morning, where we just sit and drink a cup of coffee at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday and just bullshit about what's going on for half an hour and then get off. Like, it'll be more time consuming. There'll be more content.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's a brave new world we're going into, and hey, man, like I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the food part of it. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited. We're taking it in a new direction. It's what we want to do with it, and let's fucking do it. And again, like this was something, if you remember Sorry Kids Productions, like this was something we talked about doing fucking like a decade ago, 2 decades ago, whatever the fuck that was.
We're kind of going back to the original idea to this. So and that's something that's stuck in the back of my head. And all in all, I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to wrap this up. I think we're done with this show. This is it. I think it's gonna be good. I'm excited to see people on YouTube. Come find us, youtube.com/@Insomniac Snack. If you're Adam, I guess you don't have to put the @ symbol in, but it doesn't work for me. You can find our other links, which are very short now. It's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. That's where we're at. You can find it bio.link/Insomniac Snack. You can always email our business Gmail at what, Adam?
Insomniacsnack@gmail.com.
That's right. Nothing's changing. You're just going to be able to see us. It's exciting. Come see us. Come sub to our channel.
Come hang out with us, man.
Yeah. And
don't you want to hang out with a snack pack?
Right, exactly.
What we're calling ourselves?
No, I mean, I thought we did at one point, but I think we dropped that. Nothing's changing. Even after the live feed, like some people are probably wondering, like, well, what if I miss it? You can always catch it. Like, it's not going anywhere. Once we record, we go live, we end the show. It shows up on a playlist of live recordings, like previously live recordings.
Unless for like that one gamer that just had his dick pop out on live camera. It's not going anywhere.
I promise you guys we will keep our dicks in our pants.
I'm not promising shit.
Bro, if you pull your dick out, we're done. Like your dick is gonna kill the show. You cannot pull your dick out on YouTube. You can't.
Bullshit, man. It's bullshit.
You could probably put a sock puppet on your dick and do something with that.
Fucking hang out with my wang out.
I swear to God, if you stand up during one of these episodes and your fucking wanker hangs out, like that's it. We're done. It'll be cool, like, to have like other people come on too. We're gonna have guests. We're gonna be doing all kinds of shit, all new shit.
So that means fucking subscribe. What do they say? Click that like button and that bell thing so you get the notifications every time we're on.
Is there anything else you want to say? You got any final words before the last episode?
No, man. I'm excited for this. This next chapter of Insomniac Snack.
Yeah.
Good things are happening. Good things are afoot.
I've had a lot of fun doing this with you, man. I'm glad you're back here. I'm glad we're doing this. I'm glad you're doing better for yourself, which really helps the show. Proud of you.
I'm doing great, man. Thank you, man.
And honestly, I don't think there's anybody else I'd want to do this with. I really enjoy doing it with you. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for going with my crazy fucking ideas. Thanks for tolerating me. Thanks for
taking this shit to the moon.
Yeah, thanks for bringing shit to the table and not just sitting there and fucking. I've really had a good time. We're not gonna end this on a weird note like we usually do. We're just gonna end it. So are we done?
We'll see you on. We'll see you guys on YouTube
Saturday nights. I don't know what time. Look Saturday on social media. You'll see the time. And if you're gonna troll us, Adam's gonna pull out his puppet dick.
I'm gonna fucking just whip it right out, man.
Don't do it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank us for giving your ears.
Yeah.
And I love you all. You have no idea how much it means to us.
Me too. So most of them, most people.
Go find us on YouTube, find us on TikTok, find us on Facebook, find us on wherever the fuck else we're on. And we'll be seeing you guys soon.
We're sorry, the number you have reached is not in service. Please check the number or try your call again.